Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So this is our agenda as visible on the screen. First of all, there would be an introduction part about the QAI. I'm gonna brief you about the Quality Accreditation Institute. Introduction to ISO IC 17020 that would be given by all the explanation will be given by Miss Neeta ma'am. And role of accreditation in enhancing quality and credibility, benefits of QAI accreditation for inspection bodies, QAI accreditation process, step-by-step guide, and followed by the question and answer session. So, quality accreditation body, it is the accreditation body with global recognition. Dr. Bhupinder Kumar Rana, he is the founder of QAI. Over 25 years of experience he is having. Just hold on. He is the former director and CEO in charge of NABH Quality Council of India. He is the founding member of the International Academy of Quality and Accreditation Survey, IAQS, member of the Scientific Advisory Board International. Uh, just hold on for 1 minute. There is some issue. So, yeah, I'm gonna start with this slide. This is the slide of our founder and CEO, Dr. Bhupinder Kumar Rana. He is having over 25 years of experience in quality, standard development, accreditation, and patient safety. He is the former director and CEO in charge of NABH Quality Council of India, where his visionary leadership transformed the healthcare quality framework in the country. Founding member of the International Academy of Quality and Safety, member of the Scientific Advisory Board, International Alliance of Patient Organizations, Vice Chairman election elected of the Mutual Recognition Arrangement MRA, Council of the Asia Pacific Accreditation Corporation APAC, former board member and chairman of the Accreditation Council of the International Society for Quality in Healthcare, international expert of the World Health Organization, the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So this is our vision as Quality Accreditation Institute. We have a vision, we have values, mission as reflected in the PPT, nurturing the largest global pool of organizations and people through quality improvement and accreditation framework. The values related to the listening, competitiveness, transparency, innovation is there. For the listening, seek continuous feedback from stakeholders to address their concerns. Competitive, look for viable options to benefit users of our services. We have transparency, clearly defined policy is made available in public domain. Innovation, continuously evolving using co-design and co-creation. We have a mission to conceive and deliver education, training, accreditation, and related programs in partnership with stakeholders using an approach of co-design and co-creation. So we are an accreditation body who is being operating since August 2017. We have APAC, ILAC, MRA signatory we are for the medical ISO 15189 and testing and calibration ISO IC 17025. This is our organization structure. We have Center for Education Training, Center for International Accreditation, CHSC, and Center for Accreditation of Veterinary Facilities. These are our programs. Accreditation of medical laboratory as per ISO 15189, accreditation of testing laboratories as per ISO IC 17025, recognition of medical laboratories as per the requirement of Central Clinical Establishment Act, accreditation of calibration laboratories as per ISO 17025. Biobanking accreditation as per ISO 20387, accreditation of inspection bodies for which the today's program is being focused on as per ISO IC 17020, conformity assessment requirements for the operation of various performing inspection. Accreditation of proficiency testing providers, PTP, as per ISO IC 17043. Accreditation of reference material producer as per ISO 17034. So we have a wide variety of programs under Center of International Accreditation and under CHSC. We are the India's second largest accreditation body in laboratory accreditation. This is our geographical spread. So we are having global presence in 10 nations. Bahrain, Bangladesh, Ghana, Maldives, Mongolia, Morocco, Myanmar, Nepal, Qatar, South Africa. International recognition we have. So as visible on the slide, this is our APAC Mutual Recognition Arrangement Certificate for the ISO 15189 testing and calibration. QACI is a full member MRA signatory of the International Laboratory Accreditation Corporation as well. This is a certificate as visible on the slide for the ILAC part. We are a ILAC MRA for the medical testing and calibration. This is our accreditation mark. So now Miss Neeta Sharma, she is the speaker. I welcome her on behalf of QAI. Now she is going to give the brief introduction on the clauses pertaining to the standard. So just hold, yes. So I welcome Neeta Sharma on behalf of QAI. I'm just gonna give her about her a brief introduction. The education part, she is having BTech Civil Engineering and postgraduate diploma in construction management. As per the experience, she is having over 40 years in civil engineering, quality management, and accreditation consulting. Her current position is she is consultant for the accreditation and certification bodies ISO IC 17020, 17021, 17024, 17065, etc., specializing in documentation and training for NABCB or QCI accreditation. So, as per the past experience, she was the MD as at IAPMO Plumbing Codes and Standards India from 2013 to 2018. Bureau of Indian Standards BIS 1988 to 2013, Faculty for International Training Programs, Consulting Engineering Services 1982 to 1988, Structural Design and Project Planning. Her key achievement involves awarded among the 50 most impactful leaders in water and water management by World CSR Day 2017. So that was the part for her brief introduction. So now I would request Miss Neeta ma'am to kindly go ahead with the explanation of the clauses pertaining to the ISO IC 17020 standard. So yeah, ma'am, you can go ahead.
I'll do it. Good afternoon, everyone. Till the time I try to, I think it is there uploaded. My good afternoon to you all. And I am trying to share my screen. Can you see that? Aima, can you
Yes,
see my
ma'am, it's
screen?
visible. Yeah, yeah.
It's visible? Okay, good. In the meantime, I will I will stop my video so that it's better. Anyways, it's okay. Can you see the screen now? No?
Yes, ma'am, we can see the screen.
But I don't know why I'm not able to see the screen. Anyways, I'll try to load the thing. Can you see the screen now?
Ma'am, now
No.
the PPT is not visible. Okay, ma'am, in that case, I can share the PPT and you
I don't know why
can.
it was coming earlier, but now I was not able to. I'ma do them with a favor. It was coming,
Okay,
but I
okay,
don't know
sure,
why it
ma'am. I'm
went.
gonna do
Please do
that.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Just
So
hold
I
on for
welcome
1 minute.
you all to this VANA awareness program. I mean, VANA is actually two less, but it's okay because you may be either from an certification body, inspection body, or a people in the business. So I'm sure you all must be aware about what are the conformity assessment standards. Are you loading? Um, Ima, are you there? Have you loaded, Ima? Because
Just
I'm
hold
not
on
able to
for
see
1
in the
minute, ma'am.
screen.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just
Okay,
doing that. Just
take
hold
it,
on for
you do
1
it.
minute. Yeah.
So I just give a brief about the inspection standard. You all know there are various conformity assessment standards, and 17020 is basically for the inspection bodies, which says about the requirements of operation of various types of bodies performing inspection. So, if you're familiar with the certification and inspection, there's a little difference between the certification and inspection. Certification, on one hand, is a recognition that is given to either a product, system, organization consistently meeting the requirements of the standard or the criteria which is defined over a period of time. Like it is usually in a broader perspective, broader scope than inspection. Whereas you will find that the inspection is to assess the product, process, system, or the service, whatever the organization is going for at that point of time, whether it is for safety, for quality, regulatory standards. It is more focused on the individual item. It could be the batches, or it could be a consignment, and typically then for a specific interest, right? So you can go back. You can go from the first slide, Aima, and
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
you will understand that any conformity standard, for that matter, whether it is for inspection or certification, there are three pillars. One is the impartiality, which is very important. One is the competence of the people that are there in the organization, people who are doing the activities, people who are doing the audit. And the third is the consistency in the processes based on the specified standards. So you will find that this is also one of the international standards which has been uh, developed by the ISO, International Organization for Standardization, and it is also adopted as a national BIS standard. So you will find it normally as a dual numbering standard, you know. So it will be IS oblique ISO oblique IEC 17020. So you know that this standard is developed by ISO, which is the world's largest developer and publisher of international standards. And these international standards for inspection bodies, it is specific to inspection bodies which are performing to the conformity assessment of any standard or a specific role that has been defined. So this was published, as you know, from the title, you will be able to know that it was published in 2012. And it applies to inspection bodies which are of three types, type A, type B, and type C, for any scope that any particular person may be looking for. Next.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the standard comprises of 8 clauses normally. One is the scope, one is the normative resumes, terms and definitions, followed by the basic text in the standard. Next slide. Which are the general
Yes, ma'am.
requirements, which are the general requirements you can see as clause 4, the structural requirements in clause 5, the resource requirements in clause 6, the process requirements in 7, and the management system requirements. So you'll find that this slides completes everything. It is having, it is giving you a complete overview of the what the standards is having about. The first three were normative and definitions, which are normally there. This is for your reference. So we can come to the general requirements first. Next clause.
Yes, ma'am.
Impartiality and independence, as I said, is very important because any inspection body must uphold impartiality. There should be no impartiality. There should be no partiality happening. So it should uphold the impartiality. It should be independence throughout, and it has to identify the risks which are likely to happen during the inspection or in the process of granting the inspection certificate. There have to be structural safeguards, and the top management commitment has to be there. So there are three types of independence which are required. You would find that appreciate that there are three types of bodies: type A, type B, and type C. So type A is the most independent, which is called the third party inspection body, which has got no role to play either with the client or the two sides. I mean, one would be the client, one would be the supplier, one would be the like importer or somebody who is taking the inspection. So whosoever are in the line of benefits of the activity that is being done, this will be a third party. So that is what we are aiming at, like when you see that it is an accredited third party inspection body. So that means it is a third party inspection body which has got no relation with the manufacturer or its supplier. There could be a type B type of an inspection body, which could be a part of the organization, but it is forming a separate part. So it is doing only for in-house. It is only for, they will be doing the inspection activity for their own organization. It could be the supplier or could be a different department. They are not doing for any third party. It is only doing for its parent organization. So we can call it, it is like an in-house inspection body. And the third is, next slide, third is the type C type of an inspection body. Next slide, Emma. Yeah. Which says about, it is the inspection body providing first party inspection, second party, and or both. It could be a unit. That means it is a unit which is not separate. It has not separated itself. It could be involved in the design or manufacture, supply, use of maintenance, and other things, which it could be doing for the parent organization. So type C type of inspection bodies also are there in the market, where they are doing for themselves and they are doing for the independent party also. But you will appreciate that it is, I mean, there's a lot to be proved because they are doing consultancy in their own wing for the separate, for the some other parties. So they can be, they are termed as type C type of inspection body. So whenever any organization is wanting to take an accreditation, they have to clearly define whether they want to be type A, B, or C. Obviously, B, normally, as per my knowledge, we have not seen any B coming in for accreditation because they're doing for themselves. So they will do as such, they will keep doing it. Many big organizations have in-house inspection systems available. So they would be doing. So till date, I have not seen any body coming in for type B accreditation, but yes, there are for type A and type C, right? And it is very important for you to note that for the same scope, any inspection body cannot go for type A and C at the same time. Yes, an inspection body can go for 3 scopes. It will go for type A. For 4 and 5, it can go for type C, but the scopes have to be very different. Coming to the confidentiality, of course, it is supposed to keep the information that is received from the clients very safely, and they have to be confidential. Every employee or every personnel who is there in the activity of inspection has to sign a confidentiality agreement, and that is all covered in clause 4.2. Next slide. Coming to structural requirements, yes, it covers, I mean, 5.1 and 5.2 are covered. Through them, they cover the administrative requirements. That means there should be a legal entity should be there. It could be an LLP. It could be a private organization. They should have identified people who are available for various documentation and various SOPs. They should be available, and there has to be liability coverage. So you have to take that kind of insurance or keep a money separate so that you are able to meet the expenses in case, just in case any activity that takes place. So some sort of reserve liability is kept either in the form of FD or you take an insurance. It's called liability insurance, or if some particular professional indemnity is also there. So you have to keep them, and you have to specify the contractual conditions with your clients. The organization and management, it covers that any inspection body has to be very structured within the organization. the size, the structure, the composition, the management system of the inspection body has to be clearly defined in the form of maybe a chart, or the roles and responsibilities have to be defined. And then what is the technical scheme that you're going to, what are the job descriptions have to be given in absence of one person who will be carrying out the duties of another uh, person. So you have to maintain the competency and keep the records during the inspection which are required. And so that is for you to decide. Normally, so soft copies are kept. So you'll be able to keep them for a longer period of time. So that means in this, you have to define the documentations which are available and people who are responsible, who is reporting to whom, and in absence of one person who will be liable to do that kind of activity. And then you should have sufficient number of people so that you are able to meet the requirements of your inspection activities. So, I mean, nobody stops you from having only just two auditors at the moment, I mean, to start with. But yes, as your work progresses, it has to match with the with the business that it expands. So the sufficient number of people should be there. But the technical manager who is having the overall responsibility has also to be defined, who will be looking after all the inspection activities. These are all mentioned in the standard. I'm not covering them here, but I'm just saying that these are the organization management is. You should have complete information about all these organization, their roles, responsibilities, technical managers, their deputies, their job descriptions, right? And job descriptions, sometimes duties that are given or responsibilities that are given has to be for each person, has to be given, especially for the inspection activities also, because the organization may be doing n number of activities. So at least for the inspection activity, you have to define them. They could be doing other job also, but keeping in your mind that they should be impartial and no kind of overlapping where conflict of interests arise, or impartiality should never be compromised. Next timer. Coming to the next is the resource requirement, resource 6, resource requirements, where it covers about three main sub-clauses, which are personal, facilities and equipments, and subcontracting. So we'll find that personal will be all the chart, the organization chart that has been made, people have been defined. So you have to define the competence, their competence and their qualifications, skills that they should have, or the education qualifications have to be defined, the skills they should have, and anything if there's missing can be supplemented by the training processes. The extra training that they can be given, or they should be upgrading themselves to the needs of the industry. The roles and responsibilities have to be defined. You have to monitor, you have to see how they're performing, the records have to be maintained, and you have to see that they're impartial. Obviously, like for any conformity assessment standard, similarly for 9001 also, as you see, I mean, you try to send your auditors in rotation so that these kinds of risks are mitigated, where the auditor to the client relationship is not too deep, so that you tend to compromise on the training, on the inspection results. So all these things have to be seen. So you have to do the risk assessment. Risk assessment is very important. What are the risks that could be involved and how would you mitigate them, right? So these are the people, when you make people responsible for any activity, you have to keep all these things in mind. What are the facilities and equipments that you're having? What are the inspection, the availability of suitable equipments which are there, how you are managing them. If your equipments are being used at the time of inspection, sometimes the samples are just drawn and given to an independent third-party laboratory, which are NABL approved, but sometimes you may need to carry your own measuring equipments, whatever you do. Could be boilers, sometimes you do NDT tests, non-destructive tests, sometimes you just measure whatever is the values that are bit there. So you have to see, in case you're carrying the equipments, you need to see whether they are calibrated and traceable to the international reference standards and materials. What are the procedures? What are the verifications? And any computers system that you're using, automated equipments that you're using, all that are covered here in this standard. Then subcontracting, any item, any activity that you're subcontracting has to be, listed out. But definitely, you do not subcontract your inspection work. Inspection work has to be completely under your control, means the application coming and the report that is coming to you. At the most, you can have some people um, who are, in your panel for doing a certain activity, but that is not called subcontracting. So any activity that you subcontract, sometimes when you do the testing, sometimes you may not be having your own lab. So you take a kind of an agreement with an NABL approved laboratory that you would be doing these tests on behalf of or for our samples that we are going to give. So these kinds of things, it's a very detailed form. It is given in the clause 6. And as far as the subcontracting is not permitted, complete subcontracting of the inspection activity is not done. At the most, as I told you, sometimes I have seen 1 or 2 cases where they got 1 client or 2 clients somewhere out of location. It was somewhere in the abroad, in other country altogether. So it may not be very, economically viable decision for any IB to send their own people and all. So they may have an agreement, you may have. But the decision of inspection and other things would be, or the issue of the certificate or the issue of the report lies with you. So for this standard, the subcontracting and outsourcing are normally considered synonymous words. There is no difference in that. Next. Coming to the process requirements. Process means what are the inspection methods. So obviously every item, depending on the scope or based on the client's requirements, sometimes you have to do the, suppose you get a new inspection item, say of any textile items which are being made. So you may, the client may be asking you to inspect a particular, only one item out of the whole item that may be sent or to the things. So you have to have a common inspection method, procedures, or depending upon the client's requirement. Sometimes you make your checklist there and then. Otherwise, you may have a standardized checklist. It all depends. So that is why we say the inspection, when you do the inspection, you have to be very particular about what will be the scope of inspection. Depending on the scope of inspection, sometimes the procedure may need to be made at that point of time. So yes, you would say if it is not available when you do the accreditation, or when any person is coming, like the CB is taking accreditation. So the AB will see that you have competent people to be able to design the working procedure depending upon your client's requirement. So that is there. So you would find that in the inspection methods and procedures, they define you what are the defined methods. Then you are also giving reference to some ILAC standards. So we'll not go there at the moment. But when you go that, it is very clear that the inspection, the IB or the inspection body will inform the client what type of inspection method is being proposed. So any new checklist, if it is made, or the standard procedure, it is always shared with your client, and obviously it is done in a timely manner. It is done on a particular date. It is not a surprise visit, and you do the standard methods. These are the document instructions. So these are all shared with the client before you are doing it. In case you have to sample, or the report is based on the test report, so you will have a procedure for drawing the samples. When you draw the sample, obviously a unique number and identification has to be given. So we will follow, and all the recording has to be there. So we'll find that it will all depend upon what is the scope of IB that the work is doing. So in case that, and especially the scope also. If you have to draw samples, you will draw samples. If not, then it is just based on the report. So you have inspection records. You record all the inspection reports are kept. They are traceable. They are identifiable, and they are processed in the same manner the way the any particular item is done. Inspection records, so you will maintain them, because in this inspection, it is mainly the report. The report is given. So it will depend on what the client is asking, whether the client is asking for a certificate or it is happy with the report. Sometimes they are happy with the reports and no certificate is issued to the client by the inspection body. So the report is there, which is duly signed, accepted by the IB and given to the client. In case the client wants certificate, next slide, you will be giving them a certificate which should be traceable and identifiable with the report. So the report should be all information on the certificate should be there.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Next slide, please.
Yes.
So when you give a certificate, so obviously it should cover all requirements that whatever are covered in the report and the certificate should be identifiable. The standard gives you everything. It gives detailed information about the date of inspection, identification of items which were inspected, who approved who is the authorized person to approve it, their signatures, and whether it is a statement of conformity, whether it is given by the inspector or it is given by sometime later sometimes the report will be related to the results of the test report. So the results of the test reports and their details have also to be mentioned therein. So, and this certificate will also have unique identification number, similar to like if you go for any training and you are issued the certificate. So the whole data has to be there. So then that day you can see when the training was held, what is your unique identification number, your name, and signed by it, whether that is accredited or non-accredited. At this stage, because the inspection is not mandatory, there can be some organizations which may be doing certification inspection without accreditation at the moment. So they are not supposed to issue a logo with the ILAC EPEC logo or any other logo. So they would only be issuing you certificate with their own logo. So the moment you look at the certificate, you can make out whether this inspection report or the certificate is issued by an organization which is accredited. So you will understand when you are accredited means you are also there is someone has come to your office and verified these documents that you have done in a very the way the international standard has specified. So that is how the organizations become accredited inspection body. So then you will have a system for complaints and appeals. You will have a documented procedure, who is doing the complaints. So addressing the complaints, if any, the process of handling a complaint has to be defined. People who are not involved in that inspection activity would be involved in doing the detailed analysis of the complaint. So there is a little difference. Complaint is on the is basically complaint and appeal are two different things. Appeal is already on a decision that has been taken by the inspection body, right? The decision has been already taken. Then there's only their clients or will appeal. And whereas the complaint can be given by anyone, any consumer. See, because I see you have given a certificate to this, I can give a complaint, right? So that is a complaint, and this is appeal is your client itself, somebody who is being affected by the decision of the inspection body. So it has to be done in a very non-discriminatory manner, and the decision, the responsibilities are duly assigned. The standard operating procedure is also made, and the decision makers are said, and you have to have a proper complaint and appeal, register, and doing that. So, and then similarly, the process is also there. That means you should have a process of handling a complaint or an appeal should be reported, should be available. You should be able to do that. You should be able to gather the whole information. You should be able to verify. First of all is to acknowledge the person that yes, we have received a complaint and we are addressing it, right? And then there has to be independent decision making, formal process and closure notices are given. This is also one information which has to be available on the website of the inspection body. There are various, the standard says various requirements that should be publicly available, which is your application, what is your scope, whether you are accredited, non-accredited, and then what is your system for handling complaints and other things. Coming to the process requirements is, 7.4, which is the inspection. Next करो, 7.6 खत्म हो गया, अब तो मेरे ख्याल से वो आएगा, management system. So management system, you see, management system is more or less same as what we do in every organization normally keeps it. No organization can survive basically because without these kinds of, I would say, requirements. Every organization would be having it. But the standard requires certain things which has to be viewed, which has to be documented, and they should be verifiable. So that verifiable internally as well as externally by the independent, for the IBs, it would be the inspection bodies. For the clients, it would be the IBs would be coming. So you should have this body, inspection body, either can establish or can maintain the management system. Sometimes we do get some organizations which are already 9,000 themselves, they are particularly 9,000 certified. If they're 9,000 certified already, then they should bring in the inspection activity also within the gamut. So you need to slightly amend your documents. So when we do with option A means if they're not having, then they have to maintain these kinds of things. So they must include documentation audits, reviews, corrective preventive actions. And option B is if somebody is, if any organization is already 9001 certified, so that means it is deemed that yes, it is having all systems, but you include all activities of 17020 also into the 9001. So of course, you all know that could be management system documentation. You should have policies, you should have top management commitment, you should have management appointment, and then you should have management review meetings, management meeting agenda, then the minutes, then implementation has to be proper. What is the frequency of the management review meetings has to be defined, and who would be keeping the records of it has to be very carefully assigned. Control of documents is also one of the very important aspects. Similar to any management system standard, it has to be, you should have, all documents have to be controlled, uniquely identifiable, and then also the versions and the revisions have to be properly controlled so that you are able to know what changes you made, why, and when. So this is very important, and any old documents have to be, superseded. They have to be either destroyed or kept aside. So you have to, and all the records, what is the frequency of the records that you will be keeping? What is the retention time? Retention time. Who is responsible for keeping of those records have to be said. And you should have the, what are the documents that are there for the implementation of 17020 in the organization should be very clearly defined. Which are the internal documents, which are the external documents. External documents could be standards, could be codes, could be rules, regulations pertaining to the scope that you are going for. And otherwise, the internal standards are your own SOPs, your own international standards, 17020, and things like that. What are the internal documents? You may be making your own company standards could be available, things like that. Coming to next is MR meeting, management review meeting. Next slide, please. So definitely within here, as I said earlier, when you have defined the top management, You will have to review the document that have been made. They're not static, they are very dynamic. You have to keep in view the latest technology, the latest techniques that could be based on the client's requirements also. So documents have to be keep changing. So everybody should be aware about it. So every day you can't say, so okay, then you have the management review meeting so that the top management is made aware of that all the procedures that are being reviewed, we are reviewing the records. So there is a standard format which say what are the inputs or what are the agenda items, what are the output that should be done, any corrective actions that you have to take. And the internal audits become very important aspect for any organization. In fact, if internal audit is done with the right ethics, there'll be no problem in any organization, I would say, because you are the best person to know what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses in my organization. So if they do that, if they're able to address them in the way that should be done, you'll never have any problem. So you define how you do it. How would you do the internal audit? You have to design it, internal audit program, maybe over 6 months or 1 year. Standard says once in a year. It's up to you, whenever wanted, whatever frequency you want to make, you can fix that. So, but the audit frequency has to be defined. You have to conduct the audit. You have to say which departments would be audited by whom. So these auditors are given. There is another internal audit training program which can be done, which runs for. I mean, the standard does not give any requirement. They have to be good auditors. That's all. They don't say that they should have done this, but yes, they should be aware about 19,011. They should be aware about 1720. They should know how to do it. And the basic ethics of any good auditor should be available. It's not a fault finding activity, as you know that. So then we have corrective actions and preventive actions. Also here, this standard is still saying about preventive actions, but whereas 9001, I think, has deleted the preventive actions. But yes, corrective actions, you should take that. Any non-conformity that had been, whether internal or external or by the AB, that any corrective actions need to be. So you have to take appropriate and proper actions, and all those things have to be there, and then preventive actions. I think we have very quickly covered the requirements of the
Yes,
standard.
ma'am.
Anything? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So,
Any questions?
yes, ma'am, you have very clearly explained in a very short period of time. You've explained all the clauses in a very nice manner.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, shall we go ahead with the QA accreditation process? I'm gonna explain to all the participants like how
Yes.
they can apply as applicant inspection body for the process of the accreditation.
No.
Just hold on. वहाँ पे click है भैया. So, is this slide visible to all the participants?
Yes, it is. I can see.
Yes, ma'am. So, this is the eligibility criteria for the QAI accreditation program. Before applying for accreditation, the applicant body must have met the following conditions: that the internal audit, it should carry out minimum one internal audit and one management review meeting covering all the requirements of the ISO IC 17020 standard and scope applied for accreditation. Then the second mandatory condition is related to the participation in one proficiency testing. If testing or calibration is part of the inspection body, then they have to refer ILEC P9 and ILEC G27. In such cases, the requirements of the ISO IC 17025 would be applicable. So these are the two mandatory conditions. One is pertaining to the internal audit and one MRM, at least prior to the accreditation application, and one is related to the PT. So these are the benefits of the accreditation body. Accredited inspection bodies have following advantages: improved efficiency and effectiveness of the inspection processes, builds confidence and trust of the customers, build credibility in the market, global recognition, provide competitive advantage over non-accredited inspection body. So these are some special features of the QAI accreditation program for the inspection bodies: comprehensive assessment management system to allow quick turnaround time. So I would like to explain that there is a very quick turnaround time when it comes to complete all the accreditation process. The endorsement of the quality and competency of a cab as per the intent of the standard, introducing a new concept of self-assessment management toolkit, which I'm going to give you a brief about. This is the kit specialized when it comes to the our accreditation process, and it gives a confidence to the CAP pertaining to their accreditation process that they are complying with the standard requirements. Our processes ensures continuous support to our clients in handling their queries, as each inspection body is unique in itself. We support quality improvement journey on ongoing basis, rigorous assessor management system, open to hear the voice of our customers, harmonizing local, national, regional, and global framework, blend of global strategy, experience, and leadership. Consolidated fee structure is there, reducing the number of transaction cost effective compared to other accreditation bodies. Compliance to ISO IC 17011 is there, economic yet global mode. Open to hear the voice of all, the keeping client first, harmonizing local, national, regional, and global framework. As I have already explained in the previous slide, we have a unique fee structure, economic yet global mode. So these are some key steps, basic ones to achieve QAI accreditation program. First of all, the applicant inspection body is requested to submit the following to the QAI secretariat: soft copy of completed application form, which is available on the website. 602 is there. Soft copy of self-assessment management toolkit along with the reference documents. Soft copy of quality manual or management system documentation, prescribed application fees, and soft copy of signed QAI CIA 002 terms and conditions for obtaining and maintaining QAI accreditation or certification. So these 5 things are basic ones which are to be submitted to the QAI secretariat prior to the application so that we can process it. As visible on the screen, this is the process. So application, first of all, the applicant inspection body has to submit the application plus self-assessment management toolkit along with quality manual and fees. So fees would be basically calculated on the basis of the scope which has been applied by the inspection body. Then once all these basic documents are received, then the QA secretariat is going to review and do the scrutiny of the application after registering the application by giving the acknowledgement letter to the inspection body. Then after the document review and quality manual adequacy, we basically in this process we allot a lead assessor for the quality manual adequacy, and once that this process gets completed after the reviewing of all the basic documents related to the like self-assessment management toolkit, which I have already told you about, 603 is there. So after the all review, then we basically fix the assessment by taking the final permission from the lab consent from the inspection bodies, and like the assessment will be going to held at head office as well as to the branch offices. So once the assessment is done at head office as well as to the branch offices covering all the scope, then the review of assessment report is there. Then the assessment report is being reviewed, and after that, since if the NCs are being raised during the assessment, then the inspection body will have to do the closure of the NCs. For that, 30 days period tenure is given to the inspection body in order to close the NCs. And then once the NC is being closed, then there's a panel of reviewer which is going to review the assessment report. And once they give the final review pertaining to the grant of accreditation, then we go ahead with giving the final assessment summary to for the approval to the CEO. And once the basically our CEO sir grants the approval for the accreditation, then the accreditation certificate is being issued to the inspection body. And hence basically the cycle is basically of 2 years. And I would like to tell all the inspection bodies that in between of the mid cycle of the for example the renewal the whole application accreditation cycle is of 2 years, and the inspection by the 1 year they will have to submit documents pertaining to the ongoing monitoring, which is an activity related to the checking the compliance of the inspection body, whether they are complying with all the accreditation terms and conditions or not. So for that, QAI Secretariat by the 1 year they are going to give you the intimation through the mail that they have to submit the certain documents like internal audit record is there, MRM record is there, proficiency testing record is there, where they have to give all the details pertaining to the PT, which they have done throughout 1 year after taking the accreditation, whether they are complying with PT requirements or not. And they have to submit the declaration pertaining to the compliance of the standard. So these are the 4 documents which they have to submit to the QA Secretariat. And once the QA Secretariat is going to receive all those documents pertaining to the ongoing monitoring, then the 1 year accreditation cycle is again continued. And for after once since I have told you that the cycle is of 2 years, so once the 2-year cycle gets completed, before that, before for the 6 months prior to the end of the accreditation cycle, we prefer that inspection bodies apply to the accreditation body in order to have that continuity of the accreditation. For the renewal application, the same thing happened. Like for the initial accreditation, which in which we have taken all the documents pertaining to the inspection body application, like 601 was there, 6602 was there, application form was there, self-assessment management tool kit was there, PT details, reference record details, equipment details, and scope, and everything should be there, just like the initial accreditation. And thus same process will be followed by the assessment and overall the grant of accreditation. So that would be there. So as visible on the screen, this is the fee structure for the inspection bodies. It depends on the turnover. For example, annual turnover of an inspection body is up to 1 crore. So the application fees would be 80,000. For the 1 crore to 5 crore, it would be 1,60,000. Above 5 crore would be 2 lakh. Then application for the renewal of accreditation, 50,000 up to 1 crore. From 1 crore to 5 crore criteria, that would be 75,000. Above 5 crore, that would be 10 lakh. Okay. Then we have, as visible on the screen, this is the addition of field which you can see. So as you all know, the inspection body's application is being assessed on the basis of scope, like on the basis of fields. Like we have engineering field, agriculture field, food and agriculture. And in that we have subfields like electrical, mechanical. So these are to be specified during the application on the basis of fields. We have this application fees like 20,000 for the up to 1 crore criteria. From 1 crore to 5 crore, that would be 40,000. Above 5 crore, that would be 50,000. And subsequently, the subfields are being added. Then the 10,000 would be added for the 1 crore criteria. From 1 crore to 5 crore inspection body turnover criteria, that would be 20,000. Above 5 crore criteria, that would be 25,000. So these are the mandate charges. So for the assessors part, we charge according to the mandate. For 1 day, 20,000 for the 1 crore criteria. For the 1 crore to 5 crore turnover criteria, we have 20,000. Above 5 crore, that would be 20,000. Annual accreditation fees. So once the inspection body gets the accreditation grant, when it comes to the approval part, they have got that everything is closed, NC is closed. So now they can, before granting the accreditation, they will have to submit the annual accreditation fees. That is the fees in order to have like for the accreditation part. So for the 1 year, that would be 75,000. And once the 1 year cycle gets completed, again, during the ongoing monitoring activity, they will have to submit 75,000 once again in order to have that 1 year continuation of accreditation. Similarly, for the 1 crore to 500 crore criteria, we have 1,25,000, and above 5 crore, that would be 2 lakh. So this is the fee structure for the inspection bodies covering all disciplines for low and lower middle economies as per World Bank classification. So as visible on the screen, we have turnover of if the inspection body is having an annual turnover of $1,22,000, so that would be $970. $1,22,000 to $6,02,500, that would be $1,930. And similarly, as visible on the screen, and for the scope part, again, addition of field is there. Then we subsequently $240 would be added in the final PI, which will be made by the QS Secretariat, and the inspection body will have to pay that for the scope, but which they are going to apply. So as visible on the screen, this is the low and lower middle economies as per World Bank classification segregation for the mandate charges when it comes to the assessors part. $180 per day for the 1,22,000 US dollars turnover, and similarly for $300. Annual accreditation fees is $900. Then we have for the upper, middle, and high income economies as per World Bank classification. This is the criteria for which, on the basis of which we are going to get the fees from the inspection bodies. Application fees $2,910, $5,790, $7,200 based on the turnovers. So as you can see, subsequently, as the turnover gets increased, the charges also gets increased. And of course, on the basis of the scope, the fields for which they are applying for which field, that also depends on that. And subsequently subfields. So it depends on the scope as well as on the turnover. So this is the fee structure for the inspection bodies for, again, lower and lower middle economy. So that's it for the QAI accreditation process for the inspection bodies. So we are just ending the slide, PPT.
I might have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
What would be the fee structure for a body which is like, obviously you say sometimes the inspection activity would be new to them. They may not
Yes,
fall
ma'am.
under, their output may not be more than 1 CR.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the minimum fees for them
Ma'am,
is
we have
what is
kept like up to 1 crore is the criteria. That is the minimal criteria which
that is
we
the
have
only
kept
criteria.
for the initial inspection body accreditation program. So I guess like whatever if the inspection body is having some 10 lakh or inspection, whatever it would be the turnover, we are going to charge them as per the minimal criteria which we have
Minimum
set in the fee accreditation as I have shown in the slide. That would be up to 1 crore. We are going to charge 80,000 application fees.
Okay.
Hello, am I
Okay, that's
audible,
fine.
Neeta ma'am?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Fine, fine.
80,000 would be
I'm fine.
there. And additionally, we are going to charge on the basis of like mandate. The assessor charges would be
Okay.
there. So it depends on the scope.
Okay.
If the
Yeah.
many like if the scope is having like 2 to 3 sub fields are there, so on the basis of that we are going to allot the assessment team, and subsequently on the basis of the number of days which the assessor is going to take in order to have the full coverage of the scope. So on the basis of that we are going to charge them.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So basic fees would be 80,000. Yeah. Is someone having other question, or Neeta ma'am, is there any
No, that's
question you
fine with
want
me.
to
That's
ask?
fine with me. We can ask the participants if they have any questions.
Yes, ma'am.
It will
Yes,
be good
ma'am.
to know from them.
So I would request all the participants, if they are having any query pertaining to the inspection body accreditation program, how the process goes on, how the fees gets charged, and like how much time is going to process whole accreditation process, like whatever would be the any doubt, you can ask me right now, and even I can drop a mail of mine, because I'm dealing with all the applications, so I can guide you for that as well. And I would welcome all the participants and would encourage all of them to, at least
Exactly.
consider QAI also for the inspection body accreditation program.
So from the audience, do you people have any queries, doubts?
I'm just going to drop a message on the chat section on the
Yeah, we
mail.
have dropped feedback form along with our official mail ID. So if you have any query and doubts, you may reply to that mentioned email ID and submit your feedback form as well.
So info@qai.org.in. This is our official mail ID of the office. And apart from that, since I am the dealing officer of this program, so I'm just giving you my official mail ID as well. So you can put your query. Even we can send you the application pack along with all the reference documents, as I have specified in the PPT also, that 602 is the application form that is also available on the website. That contains all the like basic things, like whatever is being required for the prior the application of the inspection body, and what the inspection body has to do. So first of all, they have to submit the 602. Along with that, they have to submit 603, that is self-assessment management toolkit. So the best. 603, that would be shared by the QS Secretariat on the request of the inspection body. So as I have told you, these are the official mail ID of the info@qai.org.in and ema@qai.org.in. The inspection, once they are going to put their query, we are going to send them the application pack with all the reference documents. And once we are going to share the document, accordingly inspection body can apply, and we would be very happy to guide them throughout all the accreditation process. Yeah. Yeah, there is a special guest. A very good evening, Mr. Anil Johari. Anil Johari sir is there. So he has also joined. So sir, I would request if you want to have some say on this webinar or anything. Would you like to give your view? Am I audible, Mr. Anil Johari sir? I guess Mr. Anil Johari sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, might be sir would be busy.
Maybe
So
he might be
Yes, you
busy or
are audible.
something.
You are
Yeah.
audible now. I was trying to switch on
Yes,
my.
sir. Very good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
We are very pleased that you have been part of this webinar. So
Good
would you
evening,
like to
Anil
give
Johari. How
your
are you?
view? Yes, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
No, I was just listening. Thank you very much.
Ex-
Uh, I'm happy to see that the webinar is being done and there are people joining in. More and more people need to join.
Yes,
So
sir.
much inspection takes place in the market, and the
Yes,
number
sir.
of accredited inspection bodies is pretty low comparatively. So
Yes.
there's need for more and more accredited inspection bodies. I'm happy to see the program, and I was just listening to Neeta. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And Miss Neeta, ma'am, would you like to say
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
you have said you covered everything very efficiently. And
Okay,
my
thank you.
request to participants is only this, that we are there to help you out. Emma is there, the Manish is there. So
Yes.
obviously she is holding the fort as far as 1720 is concerned.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
will have few people in the market and you will be able to do it yourself, because we did not know that whether you are already a CB or you are new in the market. But yes, definitely inspection is taking up in a big way, and we look forward to more people coming in for accreditation, and it will be followed by some more training programs also. That is what I think it was the plan of QAI to
Yes,
have
ma'am.
some 2 or 3 days program, deep program, so that how you go about it. So I look forward to more applications coming in, and
Yes,
any
ma'am.
support that you need, people are already there to help you out.
Yes, ma'am. We are welcoming and encouraging all the participants and to the people who are pertaining to the inspection body to please come and consider QA as one of the option for as accreditation for the inspection body program. So we would be very happy to guide the people throughout the accreditation process, because as per the accreditation process, we have a very less turnaround time when it comes to the accreditation process. And it is comparatively, you can say, it is quite efficient as well. And when it comes to the self assessment management toolkit, this is quite unique way of having the application in which this is a toolkit which is very unique when it comes to like inspection body is going to have an option to assess themselves whether they are complying with the standard or not. So it is a very unique way of having the quality manual system adequacy process. So yeah, when it comes to the accreditation process, it is quite smooth, and we would be very happy if and definitely we are going to plan much more awareness programs in the near future pertaining to the ISO IC 17020 2012 inspection body accreditation program. And I hope that as a person, I was able to address and tell the people like about the QA accreditation program. So that's it for the today's webinar. So
If you people have not any query doubts,
if someone is not having any issue, can we switch on the camera? Can they switch on the camera of their self so that we can take a group photo?
okay, thank you. So on a count of 1, 2, 3, please smile. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
And
you.
I have dropped two official mail address, info@qi.org.in and ema@qi.org.in. You can drop your query. We would be very happy to help you. Okay, thank you, Neeta ma'am.
Okay,
And
thank you,
thank you,
everyone.
Anil
Wish you all the
Jhori
best.
sir, for being
See you.
part of this webinar.
Yes. Okay, we